With the Steam Autumn Sale and the Steam Winter Sale coming up, and of course Christmas, there's a lot of people who are asking, should I still get Helldivers? And one of the questions I see a lot of people asking is, should I get it if I'm a solo player? If I'm only going to play solo, is this game still worth it? So let's deep dive into the topic of, if you are a solo player, is Helldivers worth playing going into 2025? And while I may be a Helldiver content creator, you may think, oh, well, you're biased. Of course you're going to say yes. I think my answer is going to be yes with a little caveat. There are some situations where I would say no. So I'm going to talk about as many of the situations as possible. That way you can get the most accurate and bias-free review of it. So there's a few different ways to look at this, and what's most important is to ask, what do we mean by a solo player? So I'm going to divide the solo player up into a couple different categories, and depending on what category you are in, is going to depend on whether or not the game is worth it for you to get in 2025. If by solo player you mean that you do not take part in any of the matchmaking, that you will not be playing with Steam friends, that you will not be using the built-in matchmaking system, you will only be playing the offline, no one around me, no other people mode 100% of the time, it may not be for you. The game is a blast, and you can solo it, so I'm not saying it's impossible. I've definitely done some solo Challenge 10 runs multiple times, and those are fun, but the game is clearly made and balanced around being a person of a team and having a full team and having a wide variety of arsenal and weapons and things at your disposal. So if you're not going to play with anyone at all, chances are you're not going to enjoy the game, unless you really enjoy difficult challenge runs. If you're someone who enjoys things like challenge runs or Nuzlocke runs or things where the odds are stacked against you, then playing this game solo is for you, because there are definitely some very hard challenges out there. If you look around the community, there's speedruns for completing the hardest difficulty as fast as possible. There's noob runs where you try and run with only the new starting gear to see if you can beat a hardest challenge by yourself with nothing but the starter gear. There's all sorts of challenges. So if you're into those difficult sort of challenge modes, then it definitely is worth it for you if you can get to that point. There is, of course, a learning curve and all that. I expect if you're into challenge runs, you probably understand that there are some learning curves and things that you're going to have to get into. But again, I want to be as fair and unbiased as possible, so know that you're not going to jump in as soon as you get the game and start doing challenge runs. It's going to be a little bit of a journey, especially if you're not going to play with anyone else. It's going to take some time to learn everything and get to that point where you're doing those challenge runs. Now, if by solo player you simply mean that you do not have any IRL friends, or you don't have a Steam list, and you only play matchmaking, so you have to be matched with randoms, this game is definitely still worth it coming 2025. I know there's a bunch of memes out there that are from maybe the older times where people called it a dead game, or that it was dying, or that no one's playing it. Last I checked the Steam charts, we're sitting around like 30,000 people still playing a month, which is more than enough to find matchmaking at all skill levels. Level 10, where I typically play at, it usually takes maybe 30 seconds for a room to fill up, if that, or I can drop onto a planet and start playing by myself and wait for people to fill in. That usually takes about 2 minutes for them to fill in, so there's still plenty of people playing the game. So if by solo player you mean I just want to use the matchmaking, I'm not going to bring my friends in, it is definitely worth it, and I dare say that is the way that this game is intended to be played. Like, of course, it's fun with friends, but there's something just so perfect about jumping into absolute chaos and hell with 3 random people who probably don't even have mics, so you're all confused. What's going on? What are you doing? And then you accidentally, take each other out, drop some orbital bombardments on each other. That chaos is a big appeal of the game. So, as I said, I dare say that is the way that is intended to be played. So if that's how you intend to play, I'm just going to join the matchmaking. I'm not going to make Steam friends. I'm not going to join any of the Discords. I'm not going to do any of that. You are going to get the full Helldivers experience, and it is definitely still worth playing in 2025, and there definitely will still be people playing in 2025. I expect that with the Christmas sales and all that, we're going to see a big spike in players. Not huge. I mean, the game is going to be almost a year old, so I would imagine we're probably going to see a bump of like maybe 10,000 players. But hey, if we can make it an enjoyable experience and those people stick around, that'd bump us up to about 40,000, which not bad. Still easy to find games, still finding people, all that sort of thing. I like it. I think you're going to enjoy it too. Now, this is going to be kind of a strange definition of a solo player, but I have seen some people use it in this way, so I wanted to address it. I have seen some people say when they are solo players, what they mean is that they don't engage with the community at all. They don't go to the Discords, they don't go to the forum boards, they don't go to Reddit, they just don't have any interest in anything but playing the game. And there's certainly nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to say that's a wrong way to enjoy the game or that you have to do those things, but I will say that you will enjoy the game far less if you're not engaging in those things. I know Discord's not for everyone, I know Reddit's not for everyone, but enjoying the community is a huge part of this game. The devs have been non-stop responsive, and we've seen them actually add like the community lore to the game with things like the Chaos Divers and the Creek Divers, building the space station, the memes, Liberty Day. They had all sorts of people just sitting in stream engaging in the lore. I made a special video just for that that was a part of the lore. It is wonderful to engage in that community. So again, it's not wrong to not do those things, but I would encourage you, if you're one of those folks who say, well, I'm not going to engage in that, give it a try here. In the past, I've been critical of the Discord, and I still do have my gripes with the Discord, but the community as a whole is wonderful to engage in, and building that lore, that sense of community, and just really digging into the game and feeling it is more than just another video game, because it can really be more. If you really get into all the lore and the LARPing of it and the forced super earthing of it, it becomes such an experience that is so unique that I really haven't experienced anywhere else. Like, the closest that I've come to that, I think, is Deep Rock Galactic. No shocker there, but with like the Rock and Stone, where people will shout that randomly and other people will respond with Rock and Stone, like you feel you're a part of this niche community, you have like your little secret greeting. It's like that times 1,000. So there you have it, the 3 kinds of solo players that I can think of. If I missed one, definitely tell me. I wanted to make this video because I've seen quite a few big creators who have said that they're done with Helldivers, that they're no longer going to be creating for Helldivers, that they're quitting the community, and that it's over. And while yes, it is definitely a loss that we're losing some of the big streamers and people who were interested in the game are no longer interested, the game will still exist. We'll have new content creators coming in, and hopefully again with Christmas and the sales people coming in, there'll be new people who want to create content and make things. And I just don't want to see people think, oh well, people are mass leaving this game and I don't really think it's for me, so I'm not even going to give it a try. It has definitely been my game of the year for 2024, and I think it might be my game of the year for 2025. We're still expecting some big expansions coming. The Illuminate is still coming. There's supposed to be a vehicle expansion coming. We're coming on the 1-year anniversary, which means there's hopefully going to be some big content for that. So don't feel like, oh, people are starting to leave the game, there's less content being made, so the game is dying. It is still wonderful. There's still, of course, the naysaying, and I know I'm a little bit of part of that problem as well, that I have not made content recently. I've definitely felt like I've made a lot of content for the game, and I don't have anything more to say that adds to it. But as I watch the YouTube statistics and all that, I see that people are still asking questions. People are still trying to engage, so I'm going to try and do my duty and answer some of those questions. There's a Helldivers 101 video coming out here soon, some more tips and tricks coming. And as always, if there's anything that you want to see, any videos you want to see made, any questions, any challenges, anything you have, leave it down in the comments down below, and I will try and answer them. I love engaging with my community. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, all that stuff that I have to say to try and get followers, because algorithm, all that stuff I hate engaging in, and have a blessed day. Now time for the bonus part of the video. So video's done. If you're done, you're done, but there's some extra stuff I always like to put at the end of the video, and I want to talk some conspiracies and some upcomings coming up before Christmas. So spoiler alert, I am going to talk about some data mine stuff. If you don't want to hear it, again, that's why I put it at the end of the video, so you can cancel out without hearing it. But there have been some data files mined of the Illuminate, and it looks like they're coming in very, very soon. I personally thought that we would get a Christmas Day invasion. However, I've gotten some recent feedback that makes a lot of sense to me. You see, Arrowhead's had a lot of issues with patching the game and then leaving on vacation or not being able to address it quickly, causing people to leave, causing a lot of negative feedback. And with Christmas coming up, I imagine that they're going to be taking some sort of winter vacation. So the odds of them patching the game with something as huge as like the Illuminate and then going on vacation seems to be low. They have multiple times said that they've heard the community, they've learned from their mistakes, they don't want to continue to make them. So I'm starting to doubt that we're going to get the Illuminate for the Christmas Day patch. In fact, I don't think we're going to get a huge patch at all in December for that exact reason, because every time they patch something, inevitably something breaks. I'm okay with that, but I also understand, again, with the holidays coming up, with sales coming up, with people coming into the game, it would not be a wise move for them to make a big patch that makes some changes or introduces enemies or has any chance of breaking anything and then leave for a winter vacation. So here's my new prediction. We're not going to get anything in December, and they're going to go all out when they're all back from vacation. Sometime in January, we're going to get a new war bond, and that new war bond is going to coincide with the Illuminate coming out. Something saying, we detected the Illuminate returning, or we've had, all read the reports from the community saying they've spotted the Illuminate. So we're going to get a war bond that is specifically for fighting the Illuminate and the Illuminate in January. And then February, when the game hits its 1-year anniversary, we're going to get the vehicle update. And I think that will be a really smart move because, again, you're going to have all the new players from Christmas, everyone coming back for the holidays, and we're going to have some huge content coming. So my new prediction is no Illuminate for Christmas like I originally said, even though I really wanted. I think January is going to be an action-packed time for this game. If you have any conspiracies or think that I'm right or wrong, put it down below. And now the video is over. No more bonus content. Have a blessed day.